So, example 1, write the standard form of the equation of the circle centered at the origin with the radius of the square root of 3, graph the circle. So, first off, I want you on every single problem in this section as well as the last section, anytime it asks for any type of form, to write down what that form looks like in the general case. So your standard form of the equation of a circle is parentheses x minus h squared plus parentheses y minus k squared equals r squared. So it has the same basic structure in the parentheses, x minus h and y minus k. Different things are happening to the parentheses here. Notice for a circle, both objects are squared. They're on the same side, added together to equal a number. It doesn't matter what this number is. If that number is 4, the radius would be the square root of 4 is 2. If the number is 77, the radius would be the square root of 77. Get a decimal approximation. So the radius is either going to be a nice friendly number like 2, or it'll be like the square root of 77, some decimal. But it's r squared equals in the formula, in the structure. All right, so when it says we have the center is the origin, what's the origin?
0, 0.
Center is origin 0, 0, right? So the center is the origin, center is 0, 0. That tells me that h is equal to 0 and k is equal to 0. Again, that's what the center is every time. It's h and k. H lives with x, k lives with y, just like it did in the parabolas, just like with all the other conic sections we deal with. So the center coordinates given to me allow me to figure out h and k. The radius is the square root of 3. Notice in the formula, it's radius squared, not radius. So for the sake of the formula, I might do r squared equals, and if I square this side, I square that side. What's the square root of 3 squared? 3. So if the radius happens to be in square root form, you simply have to square the radius. Take the square root off. Just on a side note, if they told me the radius, let's say, was 2 times the square root of 7, r squared would be 2 squared, which is 4, times the square root of 7 squared, which is 7, which would be 28. So if they give us a radius that's not just a single radical, but some number times a radical, make sure both objects get squared. The radical squared just makes a non-radical. The number squared makes the square number, and then multiply the two together. So if they happen to feed the radius like that. If they tell you the diameter is 10, what's the radius? 5, so then r squared would be 25. Always find the radius and then square that to make your equation. Okay, so those are different things I might do in these problems. The diameter is this, the radius is some like product of a whole number times a radical, whatever. So once I know these three things, what h, k, and r squared are, I simply replace h there, k there, and r squared there, and that's my answer. So my answer is going to be parentheses x minus 0 squared plus parentheses y minus 0 squared equals 3. And for the sake of getting that proper standard form, I want to see the x minus 0 and the y minus 0. X squared plus y squared equals 3 is also correct. But again, I want to see that standard form structure. I want you to really get your brain wrapped around that look. Okay. If you leave the square off, or you leave the plus sign off, you leave the parentheses off, anything left off is wrong. Some people forget to square the radius. They just put square root of 3 there. So make sure radius equals whatever, square it. That's what goes in the formula. R squared goes in the formula, not R. Final step, it says graph the circle. To graph a circle, you plot the center. Okay. I get an approximation for the square root of 3. If I'm graphing, I like decimals. I don't know how to count by square roots. But square root of 3 is about 1.73. Bigger than 1, less than 2, closer to 2 than 1, right? So I'm going to go right 1.73 approximately. I'm going to go up 1.73 approximately. Left 1.73 approximately, and down 1.73 approximately from the center 0, 0. And then I'm going to make the prettiest circle I can around those 4 points. Okay. I'm not judging on art. All right. Don't make it look like a diamond, though. I've seen people do like straight line. Make it curvy, but try and make a good circle. You'll see how good I am at it. It's not very good. It's not terrible. All right. Make it look circular, right? And that's how you do it. Plot the center, move out all four directions, connect the dots. Standard form, graph of the circle, that's how you do it.